Allison. I wear my Sam Cooke tribute flannel. So if you guys all like slam, there's a story slam where we like judge storytellers. It happens tomorrow at Kieran's Irish Pub.
It's awesome.
It's super fun. We tell like true-esque stories. I'll put it like that. But I am going to share a story for you tonight. It is not a poem. It is not a metaphor. It is just about the most damaging relationship I've ever been in.
Awesome.
And it was with cheese.
Yeah.
The first rule of Cheese Club is nobody talks about Cheese Club. I mean, there have been years in my life where I've wanted to share this story with people, but I have been scared. Now, I need to hear from you, audience. Is this a safe space for me tonight? All right. I believe you, so I'm going to tell it how it was. The first time I went to Cheese Club, it was in a back cement-filled room called the Dungeon. I walked in, and there in the corner was a clubhouse decorated with old Halloween decorations, skulls, spiders, crossbones, and in the middle there was a circle of chairs with a garbage can and a tombstone taped to it. On the tombstone were written the rules of Cheese Club. The second rule of Cheese Club is that you have to try one of every kind of cheese. The third rule of Cheese Club is if you are gonna puke, you better hit the trash can. 8 people were sitting there in a circle screaming as one guy was turning green and then chewing and then shaking and then running as fast as he could, hurling as people called him less than the man that he could be, saying that he should be better as he sat there heaving in front of all of them. And when he was done, the president of Cheese Club looked to the woman sitting next to him and said, "Here, see if you could do better," and handed her a piece of the cheese. The fourth rule is that you can tap out once, but you can better save it for something good. The next person in line didn't want to eat the cheese. I mean, you could tell. She looked at it. She was green already. And the fifth rule of Cheese Club is that you have to smell it first. She knows what is at stake, so she picks the cheese up. And she sniffs it, and she turns a terrible blue color. She throws it into her throat, chomps it down as quickly as possible. And the sixth rule of Cheese Club is that you can take one sip of water after you've swallowed. Nothing more. And the president ups the ante after she pukes up her cheese. $100 to the person that can keep down a chunk 10 times bigger than anything anybody's tried without vomiting. And 3 people try it, and they fail. There's puke everywhere. And then somebody looks at me and says, "Allison, it's your first time here. Why don't you show us what you're made of?" Cheese Club meets every other Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I had heard rumors about it for months before I finally got the call to come. And I didn't really want to go. I mean, not because I don't love cheese, because I do, and not because I didn't want to secretly feel like I was a part of something like that people got chosen for, because I did, and not because I had better things to do on Thursday afternoons, because I really didn't. But because Cheese Club was happening at the company that I worked for. And the president of Cheese Club was the president of our corporation. Now, getting called to Cheese Club was a big deal. None of the managers knew what was going on. They were just told if we got the call to let us go and not ask questions and to do our work for us. I mean, it was the club of it people. We were like the Illuminati in the office. Being a member came with really special privileges. I mean, you got to skip your Thursday afternoons of work, and you could leave work at any time if it was cheese related. If you had to drive across town to get some nasty brick of cheese, that was okay. And we had the chance to win hundreds of dollars every other week if we were just willing to demean ourselves in the way that our company president wanted us to. So every bite of cheese was like swallowing my pride and lighting my insides on fire with shame. And I went week after week, and I started hating everything about Cheese Club. Now, I grew up in Wisconsin. Cheese is sacred to me. I mean, I start every day still with a piece of string cheese. People from out of state, the first thing I do is take them to get cheese curds, and this damn club was just wrecking it all for me. So 4 people were in charge of bringing cheese to every meeting, and we quickly made it through the Twin Cities offerings. And then people started special ordering cheeses for their weeks. For many of them, it became a competition of the grosser, the better. I mean, I watched 4 people puke up the stinky Bishop cheese. And then one week there was this news article about this guy who got kicked off a train in Germany because he smelled so bad they thought he had a rotting carcass in his backpack. But it was actually a brick of cheese. So somebody paid over $100 to have that cheese shipped to us from Germany for our next cheese club. One guy actually had cheese sent to his friend in Mexico who drove it over the border and then mailed it to our office because it was illegal to get it shipped directly to us. People were using large chunks of their paychecks to pay for the cheese. And our manager started resenting us and the work they had to do while we were in the dungeon. And our coworkers hated us. And this was the worst part though, you all. This was the worst. If we angered the president, he would actually not include us on the invite for the next cheese club. And then we were like a person without an island because we weren't in Cheese Club, but we weren't not in Cheese Club, and everyone just hated you. And I was using my sick days to miss Cheese Club, and things were just getting really serious until I did the only thing left. I went into Cheese Club, and when the $100 went out, I said to the president, double or nothing. As I looked down at this cheese that was oozing with blue mold in a way that it looked like a Smurf on meth. So he peels out another $100 bill. And I grab the brick. And I shove it in my mouth. And I chew, staring him in the eyes the whole time. And I swallow. And I don't even take that sip of water as I tap out for the last time announcing that I quit, I had a new job.